Hello, Gemini, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of March 29th through April 4th. And during that time, we have a waxing gibbous moon, that's the first part of the week. And that's a good time for us to, be at work on those things that we're working on for this cycle, but also show that we can be flexible and make adjustments where needed. We then have the full moon energy, and that is on April 2nd, but of course might be the day before, during, and after, depending on how sensitive you are to the moon. And that could be a time of heightened emotions. You might feel overwhelmed and anxious, or you might just have a lot of energy. That's the way I handle the full moon. Very energetic, hard for me to sleep. I just have a lot of good energy. So keep those moon energies in mind. We then move into the waning gibbous, and that is definitely a calmer time, a good time for self-reflection and rebirth, and to get rid of our bad habits and negative thinking. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we're moving through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Gemini. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is don't let pride get in your way. All right, let's see what the Gemini Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you try to get yourself out into nature. So we'll have this big, beautiful full moon. And if the skies are clear, it's been getting warmer here for us. I don't know where you are. Hopefully you're in a warm place. But if you're in a place where it is getting warmer, get out and check out that full moon. That's a good thing. We've also been getting a lot of rain. So, I like to watch a storm come in if that happens. But if you can get out into nature sometime this week, it's just a good time to get out and reflect, that kind of energy this week. So keep those moon energies in mind and try to get yourself out into nature a little bit this week if you can. All right, let's get right into this reading. Gemini, March 29th through April 4th. Don't let pride get in your way. Your present energy right now is the Wheel of Fortune. I love that. This is a card of evolving. It's a card of your life changing on a dime, really. It's turning around and, oh, there's a pile of money waiting there for you, or there's this other fortunate thing, whatever it could be, any sort of fortune or thing, an opportunity that gets in front of you, and it's just being ready. It's what do they say when hard work and opportunity meet, that's good fortune, right? It's that sort of thing. It's like you're ready for a thing and it just gets in front of you. So that's awesome. And that's your energy right now, is the Wheel of Fortune. I love that as an overall energy for you. Your current situation is a little bit of rest and meditation here with the Four of Swords. So it might be your good fortune is to maybe take some time to rest and meditate and just get yourself quiet and have that time for inner thought. A lot of time the world's so busy, it's hard for any of us to get that kind of time. So good luck there. That sounds awesome. At the root of your situation is the 10 of Swords here. I'm sorry, 10 of Wands. Sometimes I say that. 10 of Swords is a card that's not this card, but that's kind of a reboot card, right? And 10 of Wands is kind of that one final push through. Okay, I can get my mouth working, I swear. Final push through, kind of an ending, kind of just getting somewhere where I feel like this guy's going to push drop these and be like, oh, that's done, kind of finishing up something. What is in your recent past here is the Empress. So you've got this card of creativity, long-term creativity, and just feeling abundant. And she can be our card of pregnancy. I always have to mention that. But the Empress is about creating things that are long-term and plentiful, but over months and years. It's not the kind of thing where you're creating something for the day. She's definitely about thinking long-term creativity. This um Anyway, that's kind of in your recent past. So this could have been, whatever this Wheel of Fortune might have been, something that you've planned long term, and all of a sudden things are kind of starting to come to fruition, and maybe you can relax a little bit. It's almost saying, finish up this thing, relax. Things are good. Let's coast in a good place right now. What is on your mind this week is the King of Cups. So, you're definitely in a place where you're knowledgeable about your own emotions, but also the emotions of people around you, and very sensitive to that. but also, kind of someone that people can look up to. You can just kind of see what's going on in the room, right? Or in your family. You're just kind of, you see the interactions, the emotional interactions of others, and you understand their sensitivities. And that's a really good way to be. And you kind of have that knowledge of all of that. So that's on your mind this week for some reason, that you have that or that ability. So pay attention to what that might be for you. What is just ahead of you this week is the Temperance card, a card of just being so centered and so balanced. I mean, look at you. I feel like it's a peaceful week for you. You're in control of your emotions. You've built something. You're resting and meditating. You're in this nice, calm, energy, feeling a little inspired, but definitely just very centered, very balanced. Things coming to fulfillment is what this card is about. This is like the angel on your shoulder, if the devil's on the other side, but we don't see him. So just the angel over there, just telling you things are really good right now. Just that, all those positive things that come through. In your advice position here is the Tower. So you might be all of this balanced, and all of a sudden, bam, something does happen that's maybe not as positive as this Wheel of Fortune. Or, sometimes something, a tower like this happens, and it does bring you somewhere that you didn't even expect. So, whatever this might be, and this could just be a delay. Towers are just a little disruption in your life, and it could just be a test, right? Can you maintain that centered being when this thing comes up, when there's some sort of delay or some sort of, just something that doesn't work out like you wanted it to? And it's really about learning how to maintain that centered balance. That's why the universe throws these things in our path all the time. This is something I constantly talk about to other people, is like, if you keep getting presented with the same thing over and over, it's really just a lesson that you're supposed to learn. And I've noticed that there's almost like a quickening of that over, for me, like the last few years. And it's just an observance of other people that I see, that it's like, instead of waiting like a month to get presented with something, it's almost like a next week, there it is again. There's that same thing that you didn't learn last week, and then next week there it is again. And if you don't, and it's very frustrating to watch from the other side, from the outside looking in. So, if you keep getting presented with the same thing, it is time to look inward, and wonder, what am I supposed to be learning from this? Because once you learn it, you don't get presented with it, you just get the next thing. What is beyond your control this week is the Knight of Wands. So definitely action in the passion realm, and that's always fun. So you get to, have some action in the things that you do love doing, the things that light a fire under you and bring you passion. So that's nice that's in that position there. What is your secret desire, and what are you trying to avoid? Is the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is about really thinking through a decision. And so, is it your secret desire to think through some big decision, or are you completely trying to avoid it? That'll be just a big question for you this week. And what decision is that? Is it something having to do with this Tower, or with the Wheel of Fortune, or with any of these things? But there might be some decision that you're mulling over this week, and just ask yourself, is it your secret desire to mull this over, or are you just trying not to even give it any of your attention? Either way is fine. You just need to really put some deeper thought into the answer to that question. What is in your outcome position this week is the Ace of Pentacles. So I like that, because that's new financial opportunities. These are just the universe bringing you some opportunity in the way of finances. So that's always a nice thing. So whatever's going on here with your overall, don't let pride get in your way. And maybe that has to do with this Tower. And again, I just get this feeling about being presented with something over and over and over. And if that's a pride thing, maybe you need to really rethink that and understand why you're getting presented with it. And then also, what do you have to learn there? There must be something that you have to learn if it's happening over and over. All right, what is hidden from you at the bottom of the deck? Is okay, with the Six of Wands here. This is kind of this is kind of being celebrated by your peers, and maybe just by the people around you, and there's nothing in that this week. I feel like this week is about you. It might be about inner thoughts, again, kind of coming to an ending, but also just being very balanced and seeing if you can handle this thing that comes through. So, all right, let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. I'm only seeing, a couple of major art, well, I guess 4 major arcana. So whatever this is, this might be just a big decision that you need to make, or at least start mulling over. And you'll know what that is, I'm sure, through your week. All right, what final message here from the Soul Oracle deck is what I was trying to say. Forgive and forget. Interesting. Don't let pride get in your way. Forgive and forget. Something here with this, perhaps. What do you need to do in the way of self-care this week, Gemini? Self-care for Gemini this week. And the card that you get is to change course. I love that there are keys hanging off of that tree right there. A closed door is an invitation from life to move in an even better direction. It's time to change course. So maybe some door closes here. And like I said, sometimes that's a positive. One closes, another opens. So there might be something there in that tower moment that you're learning something, but it opens up a world of opportunity for you. So Gemini, thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the comments if there's anything in this reading that resonated with you, or if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting the like and subscribe button really helps me. And let me thank you in advance for doing that. I do appreciate that of you. So thanks so much. Good luck with all of this, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.